Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be learning a lesson called Karna. So in this, before we begin with the lesson, you need to know the main characters that are there in this lesson. And this chapter, Karna, is an extract from the Mahabharata. So you need to know the main people who are involved in this entire chapters or the extracts that are taken from the Mahabharata. So here, as you can see, that I have written few of the names. You all are very familiar with the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Now the Pandavas, you can know the names: Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva. And Kauravas, they were hundreds, and I have just mentioned few out there, the main ones. For example, Duryodhana, Dushasana, Dusala. These are few of the Kauravas. Okay, so even Karna was a part of Kaurava, but how? Pandu and Kunti, they are the parents of the Pandavas. So you must know that here Dhritarashtra and Pandu, those both were half brothers. That is, they had a common father. So here Bhishma was their uncle, and Princess Kunti was the mother of the Pandavas. But before she got married to Pandu, when she was in her young age, she was granted a boon, a wish, and just in terms of curiosity, she accepted that and she got a son called Karna from the sun god. Now she feared what the society would tell her because she was having a child before marriage or without marriage. So she got scared of how the society will treat her. So she had to let go of her son, Karna. So when she left him, Adhiratha, who was a charioteer, he found Karna and he became the foster father of Karna. That is, he became the guardian of Karna. He looked after him. And Adhiratha was a part of the Kauravas. He was from the Kauravas side. So, because of that relationship, Karna became a part of the Kaurava clan. So, because of that, Karna was the closest friend of Duryodhana. So here these are the main people who will be involved in these chapters. And there are two more people, that is Kripacharya and Dronacharya. These both are the gurus who taught the Kauravas and the Pandavas. They were the preceptors. Preceptors in the sense a teacher who teaches them. So now let's begin with the chapter. The Pandavas and the Kauravas learned the practice of arms first from Kripacharya and later from Drona. A day was fixed for a test and exhibition of their proficiency in the use of arms in the presence of the royal family, and as the public had also been invited to witness the performance of their beloved princes, there was a large and enthusiastic crowd. Arjuna displayed superhuman skill with his weapons, and the vast assemblage was lost in wonder and admiration. Duryodhana's brow was dark with envy and hate. So, in the first paragraph, we come to know that the Pandavas and the Kauravas, they had learnt the practice of arms. They were very skilled. They learnt all this from, first they learnt it from Kripacharya and then later from Dronacharya. In short, it is said at Drona, the Dronacharya. So here a day was fixed for their test. So they wanted to show each other who is the best. So a day was fixed in the presence of the royal family, and as well as all the public, the people, the crowd had been gathered there to see their beloved princes perform. And they were so excited. And Arjuna, who is the third Pandava, so he displayed some superhuman skill with his weapons, and all the people who had gathered admired his skill. So Duryodhana was very upset, he was very angry, and he was jealous. At the close of the day, there came suddenly from the entrance of the arena a sound, loud and compelling, like thunder, the sound made by the slapping of mighty arms in challenge. All eyes turned in that direction. They saw, enter through the crowd, which made way in awed silence, a godlike youth from whom light and power seemed to emanate. He looked proudly round him, cast a negligent salute to Drona and Kripa, and strode up to Arjuna. The brothers, all unaware by the bitter irony of fate of their common blood, faced one another, for it was Karna. So the day passed by, and then suddenly at the end of the day, there was a loud sound, and it was like a thunder from the entrance of that arena. What is arena? That area where that activity was getting performed. And the sound was like thunder. It was as if two weapons are being clashed by each other. So all the eyes turned in that direction. Now, all eyes turned, that is a phrasal verb. It implies to the crowd, people. That is, all the people who had gathered there turned in towards that direction, towards the entrance from where that sound had come. They saw, that is, the entire crowd saw that a person had entered there, and that person was somewhat like a god-like youth from whom light and power seemed to emanate. What is emanate? Flow through, a glow. That person was like a god. He had a god-like figure, and he looked proudly around him. He saw everyone around him, and he gave slight salute to Drona and Kripa and strode up. That is, he walked straight towards Arjuna. Now the brothers, all unaware by the bitter irony of fate, as it said, of their common blood, faced one another. As I have told in the beginning, that Karna was the son of Kunti, whereas even the Pandavas were the sons of Kunti, so they were related to each other, they were brothers, but they didn't know that, they were unaware that it was none other than Karna. The person who entered there was Karna. Karna addressed Arjuna in a voice deep as rumbling thunder. Arjuna, I shall show greater skill than you have displayed. With Drona's leave, Karna, the lover of battle, then and there duplicated all Arjuna's feats with careless ease. Great was Duryodhana's exultation. He threw his arms round Karna. Welcome, O thou with mighty arms, whom good fortune has sent to us. I and this kingdom of the Kurus are at your command, said Karna. I, Karna, am grateful, O king. Only two things I seek, your love and single combat with Partha. Duryodhana claps Karna again to his bosom. My prosperity is all thine to enjoy. So here Karna addressed Arjuna. So he went towards Arjuna and he said him something in a very deep voice. And what did he say? Arjuna, I shall show greater skill than you have displayed. So it was like a challenge. So he tells, whatever you have done till now, I will do the same thing but much better than you. And then Karna, as he is called the lover of battle, he repeated or duplicated the same thing what Arjuna had displayed, and with ease. It was so easy for him. And looking at that moment, Duryodhana was very happy. He was very happy. And then he hugs Karna and he comes and he tells him that I and this kingdom of the Kurus are at your command. We are so proud of you. So Karna says he is grateful and he tells, I want only two things in my life. I seek. Seek is search. I want only two things in my life. And what's that? Your love and the single combat with Partha. Now, who is Partha? Arjuna. Arjuna was named as Partha. He was called as Partha by Lord Krishna. So here Karna is implying that I want only two things in my life. One is your love from the Kauravas. And what is the other one? Single combat. It's a single fight with Arjuna. So Duryodhana was very happy again and he clasped Karna, that is hugged him towards his bosom. What is bosom? Chest. As love flooded Duryodhana's heart, even so did blazing wrath fill Arjuna, who felt affronted and glaring fiercely at Karna, who stood stately as a mountain peak, receiving the greetings of the Kaurava brothers. He said, O Karna, slain by me, thou shalt presently go to the hell appointed for those who intrude uninvited and prate unbidden. Karna laughed in scorn. This arena is open to all, O Arjuna, and not to you alone. Might is the sanction of sovereignty, and the law is based on it. But what is the use of mere talk, which is the weapon of the weak? Shoot arrows instead of words. As love flooded Duryodhana's heart, that is, in this area, Duryodhana and Karna were having this conversation here. At the same time, on the other side, Arjuna, he was blazing with wrath, that is, he was burning with anger. Wrath is anger. And because he felt affronted, he felt humiliated. Then he stares at Karna and he tells that you are not invited here. You better leave. This is not your place. We didn't invite you here. So what does Karna do? He starts laughing at it. And then he says that this area, this activity is open to all. It's not only for you, O Arjuna. He tells Arjuna, it's not just for you. This is open to all. And might is the sanction of sovereignty and the law is based on it. He's saying it's all about power. And he even tries to challenge him. And he says, instead of just talking, shoot arrows. That is, do something. Show your action instead of talking. Thus challenged, Arjuna, with Drona's permission, hastily embraced his brothers and stood ready for combat, while Karna, taking leave of the Kuru brothers, confronted him weapon in hand. And as though the divine parents of the heroes sought to encourage their offspring and witness this fateful battle, Indra, the lord of thunderclouds, and Bhaskara of the infinite rays simultaneously appeared in the heavens. When she saw Karna, Kunti knew him as her firstborn and fainted away. Vidura instructed the maidservant to attend upon her and she revived. She stood stupefied with anguish, not knowing what to do. So Arjuna was challenged by Karna. And what did Arjuna do? He accepted the challenge. And then he started hugging. He embraced his brothers, that is, hugged his brothers, and he said a goodbye to them. And he was ready for the combat. He was ready for the fight. While on the other side, even Karna, he took his leave from the Kuru brothers, the Kaurava brothers. He said them goodbye and he took a weapon and even he was ready to fight Arjuna. It was one-on-one fight. When all this was happening, Indra, who is the lord of the thunderclouds, he was watching all of this from the heavens. And simultaneously, in the crowd, since the entire royal family had gathered there, Kunti also was present there, and as soon as she saw Karna, she immediately knew that he was her firstborn, that is, he was her first son, and she fainted away immediately. Vidura was over there, so he instructed one maid servant to attend just to look after her, and then she came back to her sense. She became conscious, but she stood there stupefied. She was terrified, she was shocked, and she was with pain. She didn't know what to do because she can't tell the truth to anybody. As they were about to join in battle, Kripa, well versed in the rules of single combat, stepped between them and addressed Karna. This prince, who is ready to fight with thee, is the son of Pritha and Pandu, and a scion of the Kuru race. Reveal, O mighty armed, thy parentage and the race rendered illustrious by thy birth. It is only after knowing thy lineage that Partha can fight with thee, for high-born princes cannot engage in single combat with unknown adventurers. When he heard these words, Karna bent down his head like a lotus under the weight of rain water. Now, as both were ready for the battle, Kripacharya, who was well versed, he knew all the rules and regulations of the single combat. He stepped between them and he looked at Karna and he addressed him and he said, this prince. Now, this prince he refers to Arjuna. So, he's telling the person who you are ready to fight, this prince, Arjuna, is the son of Pritha and Pandu. Now, Pritha is none other than Kunti. Okay, Kunti is also given the name as Pritha. So, he is telling that this Arjuna, this prince that you are ready to fight with, is the son of Pritha and Pandu, and he is a scion of the Kuru race. So, you have to reveal to us your parentage, that is, your family background, from which family you belong to. Please inform us about it, because there is a rule that the high-born princess, that is the prince, that is Arjuna, he is from a high-born family, he is a high-born prince, and he cannot engage in single combat with any other person. If he is having a fight, a single combat with someone, then that someone must have a good background. So if you tell us about your background, then we can go forward with the battle. When he heard these words, that is Karna, when he heard these, he simply bent down his head because he knew he was not from a royal family. He was a son of a charioteer because Adhiratha had taken care of him. So he didn't know what to say back to him. So he just put his head down. Duryodhana stood up and said, if the combat cannot take place merely because Karna is not a prince, why, that is easily remedied. I crown Karna as the king of Anga. He then obtained the assent of Bhishma and Dhritarashtra, performed all the necessary rites, and invested Karna with the sovereignty of the kingdom of Anga, giving him the crown, jewels, and other royal insignia. At that moment, as the combat between the youthful heroes seemed about to commence, the old charioteer Adhiratha, who was the foster father of Karna, entered the assembly, staff in hand and quaking with fear. So here Duryodhana stood for Karna, and he said, so you're telling this fight will not occur just because he is not a prince, then I will solve this problem very easily. And how? That is, he crowned Karna as the king of Anga. He made Karna the king of a place called Anga. Immediately, at present, I will make him the king of Anga. So he took the blessings of Bhishma and Dhritarashtra. He performed all the necessary rites that was needed to be the king, and he was bestowed. He was given all the crown, jewels, and all the other royal insignia, all the royal things. So he became the king of Anga. Then again, when the battle was about to continue or to start, the old charioteer Adhiratha, he enters the assembly. He enters that area and he had a staff in his hand. What is staff? It is a stick. He had a stick in his hand and he was quaking with fear. He was scared for his son. No sooner did he see him than Karna, the newly crowned king of Anga, bowed his head and did humble obeisance in all filial reverence. The old man called him son, embraced him with tears of love, his head already moistened by the water of the coronation. At this sight, Bhima roared with laughter and said, "Oh, he is after all only the son of a charioteer. Take up the driving whip, then, as befits thy parentage. Thou art not worthy of death at the hands of Arjuna, nor should thou reign in Anga as a king." At this outrageous speech, Karna's lips trembled with anguish, and he speechlessly looked up at the setting sun with a deep sigh. But Duryodhana broke in indignantly. Karna, as soon as he saw his foster father, he went, bowed his head with full of respect. He showed full of respect. He did not have that ego that he was the king of Anga at that time, but still he showed his respect towards his father. The old man also called him son, and they had hugged each other, and there was tears because of the love they had towards each other. Now, at this sight, Bhima, who was from the Pandavas, he started laughing and he said that he is only the son of a charioteer. He is not from a royal family. And it's better that he takes that driving whip and he continues what his parents have done. He continues that. That is riding a chariot. And then he says that he, that is Karna, is not worth of death by the hands of Arjuna. He is not worth it. And he is also not worth of being a king of Anga. So when he said this, Karna was quiet. He did not say anything, but Duryodhana again stood up and he said something. "It is unworthy of you, O Vrikodara, to speak thus. Valor is the hallmark of a Kshatriya, nor is there much sense in tracing greater heroes and mighty rivers to their sources. I could give you hundreds of instances of great men of humble birth, and I know awkward questions might be asked of your own origin. Look at this warrior, his godlike form and bearing, his armor and earrings, and his skill with weapons. Surely there is some mystery about him, for how could a tiger be born of an antelope? Unworthy of being king of Anga, this thou say? I verily hold him worthy to rule the whole world." So here Duryodhana tells that it is unworthy of you. You're not worth of saying all this. It's not correct to speak all this. Valor, that is the strength, the power, this is the hallmark of a Kshatriya. And he's telling that I can give you hundreds of examples of great men who are not from a royal family, or they have very humble birth, simple life, simple people who have gained so much of achievements in their life, who have done so much of achievements in their life. And then he's telling that don't make me ask about your origins also. So look at this warrior. He's pointing out to Karna now and he's telling, look at him. The godlike figure that he has, his armor, his earrings, and the skill that he has with his weapons. Surely there is some mystery. It's not that he is not from a royal family. He must be something. There is some mystery about him. And then he tells, you are telling that he is unworthy of being a king of Anga. So Duryodhana tells, Duryodhana thinks that this person, Karna, he is worthy of ruling the entire world. In generous wrath, Duryodhana took Karna in his chariot and drove away. The sun set, The crowd dispersed in tumult. There were groups loud in talk under the light of the lamps, some glorifying Arjuna, others Karna, and others again Duryodhana according to their predilection. And in anger, Duryodhana took Karna in his chariot and he drove away. He goes away. The sun sets, the crowd who had gathered there, they all get dispersed here and there, and they start having discussions. So, in that, some people were glorifying Arjuna, some were supporting Karna, some even supported Duryodhana, and that's how they started having a conversation in that entire arena. The next part of this lesson will be continued in the next week. If you have any doubts, you can please comment below. Thank you and do keep watching.